I've got to be the only guy that runs a major company that actually works around his employees' schedules. Because the handicappers at the site that are scattered across the country, I've got to wait till guys in Vegas, Miami, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Baltimore. I got to wait till whenever they put their sites live, when they decide what they're going to go with and what they're selling on a particular day, before I can formulate my game plan. And as you know, the biggest part of my game plan is finding out which guys have the big plays that I can give to you at huge discounted prices. Because you know what my mantra is, guys? I don't believe you have to spend big money to make big money. And you cannot ask for better performances than you got on Saturday, because all 5 handicappers, all 5 of them that I chose to give you as huge discounted plays, they swept the board. So I would be remiss if I didn't immediately give some props out to Jeff Benton, who yesterday you got the second ever 200 dime college football release of his career, and that's in a career that spanned over 11 years here as a charter member of the site. As Rice got the job done against North Texas, you got it for $44, saving $75 off the regular price. I saw that Anthony Red had his 100 dime college football winner, number 7 out of 11, his biggest play of the season on the late night game between Washington and Arizona State last night. So I decided, hey, I'm going to make that a bailout play. You got it for $22, $77 off the regular price, and he delivered a 100 dime winner on Arizona State. Gabriel DuPont, it was an obscure play, his MAC total of the year, but it was a well-rated play, and he's on a nice little winning roll. He delivered with Ball State and Akron over the total, and you got that as the $5 play of the day. And of course, I won. Matt Rivers won. And we've got huge discounted plays again for you today because I decided to use myself and Matt Rivers again today. Plus, biggest play of Craig Davis's career. It's your Sunday night game, and it's going to be a discounted play. And I'll talk about that in just a moment. Another strange day in college football as far as I'm concerned. Listen, guys, I told you a couple weeks ago I thought Ole Miss was a fraud. I didn't understand how Ole Miss has ascended to number 3 in the various polls, because the only thing I saw Ole Miss do was rally from a 14-3 halftime deficit to beat Alabama at home. And who said the Crimson Tide were any good, as we've seen? Well, Ole Miss last night finally lived up to its fraud status by losing at LSU. Now, LSU was a team that got throttled at Auburn, okay, a couple of weeks back. So this LSU team last night, I think they had like 410 yards of total offense. I mean, you talk about a boring game. But Mississippi, I mean, okay, they got a decent defense, but if you can't beat LSU, and I don't want to hear, it was played in Death Valley on a Saturday night, please. Billy Cannon didn't come out from the ghost and lead LSU last night, and people were going, who the hell's Billy Cannon? But anyway, and believe me, I only know because I read a story about him once. He was way beyond my time, before my time too. But so we don't have to talk about Ole Miss anymore. Personally, if you're asking me, the 4 best teams in college football right now, and they all have certain flaws, to me: Mississippi State, Florida State, Michigan State, and are you ready? You'll never guess this one: TCU. Yeah, I know TCU blew the 21-point lead and lost 61-58 at home to Baylor a couple weeks ago. But I also saw TCU immediately rebound last week and hammer somebody yesterday. I mean, 82 points. They didn't score 82 points against Savannah State yesterday. They scored 82 points against Texas Tech. And Cliff Kingsbury, last year, they loved you in Lubbock. They don't love you right now. This team is so dynamic offensively with Trevon Boykin at quarterback, a guy who I was not really impressed with a couple of years ago. I got to be honest with you. But my God, can they put points. They're so fast. They're so athletic. And isn't it funny, Gary Patterson, who for years was known as a defensive genius, this man has embraced the spread option attack, and he just puts points on the board like crazy. Michigan State took care of business against Michigan, as I thought they would yesterday. This is a very solid team. Ohio State's got no chance against Michigan State. No chance. Michigan State is the best in the Big Ten, period. Mississippi State, listen, I still don't believe in their defense, but I like their quarterback in Dak Prescott, and I like the way they can put points on the board. Florida State, a team I also don't believe in their defense. But listen, as long as they got that guy at quarterback, as long as he's not in trouble with the law, they've got some great chances to win. Alabama, average team. Auburn, you saw last night. Hell, I used them as a free pick yesterday. You saw last night they couldn't stop South Carolina playing at home. Oregon couldn't stop California the other night, and they lost at home to Arizona. These teams, Notre Dame, I would say they were probably my number 5 team in the country. Okay? They're right there knocking on the edge. Georgia, to me, would be a number 6 team in the country. Kansas State, until you play better competition, I think the jury's still out on Kansas State. Big deal. You lost you shut out Texas. Hey, you lost at home to Auburn. So I can't really have a lot of respect for you. And Ohio State, mediocre. Penn State's no good, and you allowed them to rally from a 17-0 halftime deficit to take you into double overtime last night. The Arizona schools, Arizona State and Arizona, very, very flawed. Nebraska, it's coached by Bo Pelini. I mean, what do you want out of there? And that's pretty much it. I mean, so again, I think the top 4 teams, in my book, ranking them, Mississippi State, Florida State, Michigan State, and TCU. Michigan State, the best defense of them all, but also the most inconsistent offense of them all. But that's how my top 4 would go, for what it's worth. So, that and a quarter that and $4.25 will actually get you a latte at Starbucks probably nowadays. Okay, let's talk about today's stuff before I get to your free plays. Listen, Matt Rivers won again yesterday. Gee, what a surprise. Matt Rivers won again on Friday, too. Matt Rivers won last Sunday, too. Matt Rivers, all he's done this month is win. As he says, balls to the wall time again. 4th ever blank check waived the rating pro football play of his career. It's the Texans and the Titans. You save $60 by using coupon code TRIO. Why TRIO? Because he just won the 3rd and 4th ever college blank checkers of his career. Yesterday, TCU, he was on the Horned Frogs. He called them the Froggies. Hey, look, as long as he wins, he can call them whatever he wants, okay? He can call them the Purple Toads. I don't give a damn. TCU, a 24-point favorite, of course, 82-27 over T-Tech. And then, of course, he won on Friday night with Cincinnati, -10 over South Florida, 34-17. You got each winner for $49, saving $70 off the regular price. And last Sunday, he improved to a perfect 3 for 3 with his NFL blank checkers in his career when you got his winner on the Broncos smacking around San Francisco the prior week. You got the discounted winner on the Eagles, 27-0 over the Giants. And last month, you got his first ever NFL blank checker, also at a discounted price, with Seattle getting the job done in overtime at home against Denver. So he is 8-1 in his 11 years as a charter member of this site with blank check releases, okay? 7-0 sweep with them so far this month. Number 8 in a row goes today. You save $60. The coupon code is TRIO, TRIO. As for me, I'm going for winning day number 42 out of 64 and 11 out of 14. Yesterday, my early bankroll builder was a 15-dime play, which matches the normal highest rated play of my career in football, college or pro. And I'll tell you what, it was another interesting thing. Just a quick little story. Generally, I'm one of these guys that I go first inclination. I mean, when something jumps out on the board and screams at me, bet me, bet me, bet me, that's what I do. On Friday night, it was Oregon. I handicapped the card on Thursday. I looked at the Friday card, and I said Oregon was going to be the play. I slept on it. I woke up on Friday. I looked at the 2 games again, and I thought, let me give away Oregon as a free pick. Let me use Cincinnati instead. Good thing I did. Cincinnati, the easy cover, even though their quarterback gets hurt in the 3rd quarter. On the other hand, Oregon, I think most of you won with Oregon here. But some offshore sports books, it was an 18 number on Oregon against California. They won by 18, so it was a push. Yesterday, I came this close to playing Auburn. I can't tell. And you know me with Auburn. I mean, they won me a fortune this year, okay? But then all of a sudden, I saw Memphis. And I said to myself, how many times have you told people that you would lay 100 points against SMU? Don't be a wimp and not lay 24 with Memphis against SMU. So that's exactly what I did. I laid the 24 with Memphis. They won 48-10. I'm pretty sure that some of the high school football teams that I used to cover a couple of decades ago, those guys who are now probably in their 30s, they can come out and they can get together and beat SMU. That's how bad the ponies are. Anyway, listen, today, I've got another 15-dime play. It's my bounce back blowout. It goes at 1 o'clock Eastern time. Team coming off a tough loss. I say they bounce back and get the win and cover today. It matches last Sunday's 15-dime winner on the Colts, which you got for $39, a savings of $70 off the regular price. And today, same thing. You get it for $39. and save $80 off the regular price by using coupon code. Are you ready? AL39, AL39. FYI, 27 and 10 roll with 10 dime plays, including Cincinnati and College on Friday night, including the Broncos on Thursday night, including the Steelers and Texans over on Monday. And this play is 50% bigger. But listen, I want to quickly talk about Craig Davis before I get to the free picks. Craig, as you know, is the former president of fantasyfootball.com. I was first made aware of Craig because when I used to do all my radio appearances, there was this guy, Craig Davis, who was either preceding me or following me on radio interviews. It seemed like all over the country. I'd be in Philly, I'd be in Baltimore, I'd be in St. Louis. This guy, Craig Davis, was all over the damn place before or after me on my radio appearances. Well, Craig Davis eventually, I can't remember if he contacted us or somebody brought him to our attention, but we hooked up with him, and he was also a handicapper. So entered him here at the site. Well, he has just done a great job in the NFL and college football over the years. In fact, in the NFL, $10 bettors have won a little over $11,500 since the 2011 season. And that little game called the Super Bowl, he's won 5 of the 6 years he's been at the site. Well, normally, 100 dime play is his top-rated release. Last week, he hit number 6 out of 8 when he gave you the Vikings as his dog of the year, and they almost won outright. Today, first ever 150 dime NFL play in his 6+ years at the site, Packers-Saints, that little Sunday night game. You get it for over half price off. Save $70. 32 and 17 with 100 dime NFL plays ever at the site. This play is 50% stronger. You get it for over half off the regular price, 3 times bigger than his 50 dimer yesterday on Michigan State. And the coupon code is simply BAILOUT, BAILOUT. Let's go back to school and learn how to spell. Bailout is the promo code. Okay, let's go to your free selections. Indianapolis. I was going to use the Colts as my best bet today, actually. And I switched again. For the 3rd straight day, something just told me to get off the team that I have been in love with all week long. Colts are up to 3.5, even 4 at some places. They were 2.5 earlier in this week at Pittsburgh. Now listen, they have won 5 in a row, both straight up and against the spread. Their defense has only allowed 15 points per game in that stretch. Pretty good considering they gave up 61 points in their first 2 losses to the Broncos on the road and the Eagles at home. But then again, who have they played lately? The Jaguars, the Titans, the Ravens, the Texans, the Bengals? 27-0 home win over Cincinnati last week, and that was my 15 dime best bet a week ago. But then listen, this is a team that's 1-2 on the road. They rolled at Jacksonville. They won at Houston 33-28 after blowing a 24-0 first quarter lead. And, they lost at Denver in the season opener. But fact is, the offense is averaging a little over 30 points a game this season. Steelers, of course, coming off a 30-23 win at home Monday against Houston, a game in which they trailed by 2 touchdowns early. If not for the Texans' turnovers, maybe the Steelers don't win that game, okay? But 24-point turnaround thanks to those turnovers in the first half. What has me a little bit concerned about Indianapolis here is that Trent Richardson's bothered by a hamstring injury. Richardson, who's gotten like 100 carries this year, and Ahmad Bradshaw, I think, who's carried the ball 69 or 70 times, have really been so productive for the Colts. The Colts are number 1 in the league in terms of time of possession. Well, when you have the quick strike ability with Andrew Luck and you're masking a porous defense because your offense is on the field for close to 36 minutes, almost 37 minutes a game, that certainly helps. Now, listen, we know the Steelers have all types of issues. Linebacking, weak. Pass rush, weak. Secondary, continually scorched because they don't have much of a pass rush, and they can't stop the run. I think the Colts are the play here. And obviously, anywhere between 3 and 4.5, I'm going ahead and buying down the half point in this particular contest. But, the Colts, they should win this game. But how many times have you seen a team just get on this incredible type of run and then they just have a hiccup in their schedule? And that's what worries me about Indianapolis. On the other hand, this is a Pittsburgh team that's going to be facing, Andrew Luck today. Well, geez, who have they faced lately? Ryan Fitzpatrick? Brian Hoyer? Blake Boyles? Mike Glennon? Brian Hoyer has lit them up twice this year. Andrew Luck could too. So I do like the Colts, but I'm not in love with the Colts. Listen, I like the Eagles. I like the Eagles at Arizona today. I think Arizona is a fraud. I've said it. Arizona is a fraud. I hope the Eagles prove me right. um, a little concern here. Darren Sproles, questionable because of a knee problem. But then again, the Eagles, their offensive line is getting healthier. They're coming off the bye week, which I think that helps. Yes, the Arizona defense is number one in the league in terms of stopping the run. So I think Nick Foles, who has just been pedestrian this year with 10 touchdowns and 7 interceptions compared to 29 TDs and 2 interceptions last year, he's got to have a good game or at least a steady game against this Arizona defense. Listen, who has Arizona played? Biggest game of the season that got destroyed by the Broncos, okay? So I know they're 9-2 straight up at home under Bruce Arians, and I know both teams are 5-1, but the Eagles by far have played a tougher schedule. That's what I feel. And I think the Eagles are the better team here, and I think that they win this game outright as the 1.5-point underdog. Next free selection for you is going to be St. Louis and Kansas City. I look at this game, and I think this is a perfect soft spot in the Chiefs' schedule. This is just their second home game in a 7-week period. St. Louis is a 7-point dog. They pulled off the big upset of Seattle last week. Kansas City, of course, the road upset of the Chargers. 7.5 points right now. I think this could be a 3 or 4 point game. I really believe St. Louis can keep it competitive and keep it close. Home favorites of 7 to 9.5 points are 13-21 against the spread this season. Well, actually 14-21 because the Broncos were right there at most places 9.5 the other night. So 14-21, home favorites of 7 to 9.5 points. It's been a brutal schedule for Andy Reid's team. I mean, at Denver, at Miami, home against New England, at San Fran, at San Diego. I mean, to go 3-2 straight up and 4-0-1 against the spread in that stretch, props to them. But they're at home. And Andy Reid's teams in Kansas City during his brief 1.5-year tenure, 2-6 against the spread when laying points at home. Rams, of course, snapped that 3-game skid with the 28-26 upset of Seattle. Austin Davis has really played well, 18 of 21 against the Seahawks, 66% completions on the season, averaging 262 yards a game, 9 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. I do think St. Louis is going to have problems stopping the run here, but I think Kansas City, because they know the Rams can't stop the run, they're 28th in the league at stopping the run, giving up 145 yards and 4.8 yards per carry to opposing backs. I think that will actually help us by taking the dog because the Chiefs know they don't have to put the ball in the air that much. They got the 1-2 punch of Niall Davis and Jamal Charles, so I think they run the ball effectively. That means the clock winds down. That means fewer scoring opportunities. That makes the dog a lot more attractive. So St. Louis plus the points is one free pick. I'm going to go ahead and back Philadelphia to win outright at Arizona, and I like Indianapolis to get the job done with a little bit of hesitation against Pittsburgh. That'll do it, guys. Best of luck to y'all, and I will catch you again on Monday when we do this one more time with the Monday night game between Washington and Dallas.